Hi children, today we will deal with chapter 7 of the textbook Moments, titled The Last Leaf, written by O. Henry. O. Henry is a pseudonym, that is pen name of William Sidney Porter. He was an American short story writer. He has written around 381 short stories, and his famous works include The Gift of the Magi, The Duplicity of Hard Grace, and The Ransom of Red Chief. His stories are known for their surprise endings and witty narration. He also wrote poetry and non-fiction. His legacy includes the O. Henry Award, an annual prize awarded to outstanding short stories. Now we move on to the lesson, The Last Leaf. Sue and Johnsy, two young artists, shared a small flat. The flat was on the third story of an old house. Johnsy fell very seriously ill in November. She had pneumonia. She would lie in her bed without moving, just gazing out of the window. That shows that she was rather disappointed at her fate, that she had pneumonia, she was not well. That is why she did not do anything and just gazed out of the window. Sue, her friend, became very worried. So, looking at her condition, Sue became very worried. She sent for the doctor. Although he came every day, there was no change in Johnsy's condition. One day, the doctor took Sue aside and asked her, "Is anything worrying Johnsy?" "No," replied Sue. "But why do you ask?" The doctor said, "Johnsy, it seems, has made up her mind that she is not going to get well. If she doesn't want to live, medicines will not help her." So, being an experienced doctor, the doctor soon realized the problem, that Johnsy doesn't have the will to live. That is why the medicines are not being effective on her. So he's made it clear to Sue, and he clarified with Sue whether anything was worrying her. Sue tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her. She talked about clothes and fashions, but Johnsy did not respond. Johnsy continued to lie still on her bed. Sue brought her drawing board into Johnsy's room and started painting. To take Johnsy's mind off her illness, she whistled while working. So Sue, being a true friend, did what all she could to divert Johnsy's mind from her negative thoughts. First, she talked about clothes and fashions, but it did not have any effect. Then she brought the drawing board into Johnsy's room and started painting. In addition to that, she started whistling also while working, thinking that that will take Johnsy's mind off her illness. Suddenly, Sue heard Johnsy whisper something. She quickly rushed to the bed and heard Johnsy counting backwards. She was looking out of the window and was saying 12. After some time, she whispered 11, then 10, then 9, 8, 7. Sue anxiously looked out of the window. So Sue couldn't make out what she was talking about. Why was she counting backwards? So she looked in the direction where Johnsy was looking. She saw an old ivy creeper climbing halfway up the brick wall opposite their window. In the strong wind outside, the creeper was shedding its leaves. So this was a sight that she saw. An old ivy creeper on the opposite, on the brick, halfway up the brick wall opposite their window, and the leaves, the creeper was shedding its leaves. "What is it, dear?" Sue asked. 6, whispered Johnsy. "They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves. There are only 5 left now." "It is autumn," said Sue, "and the leaves will fall." So now Sue understood that she was counting the leaves, how many leaves have fallen and how many more are there. So she says that it is autumn season and it is natural that the leaves will fall. Why are you worried? "When the last leaf falls, I will die," said Johnsy with finality. With finality means she was almost sure, not a doubt. She didn't have any doubt about it. "When the last leaf falls, I will die. I have known this for the last 3 days. So this was the thought that was worrying her. That was why she was lying in her bed without any movement, looking outside. She was looking at the creeper and how fast the leaves were falling. Oh, that's nonsense, replied Sue. What have old ivy leaves to do with your getting well? The doctor is confident that you will get better. John C. did not say anything. Sue went and brought her a bowl of soup. I don't want any soup, said John C. I'm not hungry. Now there are only 4 leaves left. I want to see the last one fall before it gets dark. Then I will sleep forever. So look at that. Sue is trying her maximum to divert her mind, but John C is sticking on to her thought. She doesn't want to get diverted. See that when she offers a bowl of soup, I am not hungry. I just want to see the last leaf fall. And I want it to happen before it gets dark so that I can sleep forever after that. She is waiting for that to happen actually. Sue sat on John C.'s bed, kissed her and said, You are not going to die. I can't draw the curtain for I need the light. I want to finish the painting and get some money for us. Please, my dear friend, she begged John C. Promise not to look out of the window while I paint. So Sue also became desperate. She said that you are not going to die like that. Now, if it was possible, I would have drawn the curtains or closed the windows. But I cannot do that because I have to finish this painting. Only then we will get some money. So that tells us about their financial condition. And she says that, please promise me not to look out of the window till I finish this painting. All right, said John C. Finish your painting soon, for I want to see the last leaf fall. I am tired of waiting. I have to die, so let me go away peacefully like one of those poor, tired leaves. So look at that. She is waiting for that to happen. And she says that I am tired of waiting. Tired of waiting. Waiting what? The last leaf to fall. Then only I can die. That is her attitude. I have to die. Look at the usage. I have to die. So allow me to go away peacefully like one of those poor, tired leaves. Try to sleep, said Sue. I have to paint an old miner. So that is the task. I have to paint an old miner. I will call Vermin to be my model. That is the model so that she can paint it properly. Sue rushed down. Vermin lived on the ground floor. He was a 60-year-old painter. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece, but that had remained a dream. Now, a miner is a person who works in a mine. Now, masterpiece is a work of outstanding workmanship, the greatest piece of work of a person. So, Vermin was a painter and he was 60 years old, and his dream was to paint a masterpiece, an artwork of extraordinary skill. But that had remained a dream. He was not able to do that so far. Sue poured out her worries to Vermin. She told him how John C. was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fell. Is she stupid? Asked Vermin. How can she be so foolish? She is running a high temperature, complained Sue. She refuses to eat or drink, and that worries me a lot. I'll come with you and see John C., Vermin said. They tiptoed into the room. Tiptoed means walked into the room without making any sound. John C. was sleeping. Sue drew the curtains together and they went to the next room. She peeped out through the window. There was only one leaf on the creeper. It was raining heavily and an icy cold wind was blowing. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now. Vermin did not say a word. He went back to his room. So nothing to be explained there. They just saw that John C. was sleeping. Vermin did not say a word and he went back to his room. And Sue observed that there was only one leaf on the ivy creeper and it looked that it would fall any minute now because of the storm. John C. woke up next morning. In a feeble voice, she asked Sue to draw the curtains. Sue was nervous. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. So we can actually visualize the feelings of, or imagine the feelings of those two girls. Johnsy, anxious to know whether the last leaf has fallen. If the last leaf has fallen, that means it is time for her die, according to her. And for Sue, she was worried whether the last leaf would have fallen. How will Johnsy react to that? So she drew the curtains very reluctantly. Oh, Sue exclaimed as she looked at the vine creeper. Look, there is still one leaf on the creeper. It looks quite green and healthy. In spite of the storm and the fierce winds, it didn't fall. So she was so happy, so relieved that the one leaf which she saw the previous day was still there on the creeper. And look at the line, it looks green and healthy. That's a sign of hope for her. Understand? So that nothing will happen. I heard the wind last night, said Johnsy. I thought it would have fallen. It will surely fall today. Then I will die. So look at that. She says that I thought that it would have fallen. Oh, it didn't fall? Okay, sure. It will fall today and then I will die. You won't die, said Sue energetically. You have to live for your friends. What would happen to me if you die? So now Sue was more energetic because the one leaf which looked green and healthy gave her the hope that nothing will happen. Johnsy smiled weakly and closed her eyes. After every hour or so, she would look out of the window and find the leaf still there. It seemed to be clinging to the creeper. In the evening, there was another storm, but the leaf did not fall. Johnsy lay for a long time looking at the leaf. Then she called out to Sue. I have been a bad girl. You have looked after me so lovingly and I have not cooperated with you. I have been depressed and gloomy. The last leaf has shown me how wicked I have been. I have realized that it is a sin to want to die. So when she saw that the leaf, that one leaf which was remaining, did not fall even in the storm that happened the second day, she realized that she was wrong to feel that she will die. So she confesses to Sue that it was her mistake. You looked after me so lovingly, but I did not cooperate with you. I did not, share the same positive thought as you all had. Sue hugged Johnsy. Then she gave her lots of hot soup and a mirror. Johnsy combed her hair and smiled brightly. In the afternoon, the doctor came. After examining his patient, he told Sue, Johnsy now has the will to live. I am confident she will recover soon. So this tells us that everything is our mind's play, right? Earlier, she didn't have the will to live. She felt that with the falling of the last leaf, I will die. The medicines did not work on her. The doctor came and visited her every day, but still it didn't have any effect. But now she realized that she was wrong to think like that, and her attitude changed, and the doctor says that now she has the will to live, and the doctor is confident that she will survive. So that shows that everything, that we have to be positive to have a positive result. Now the doctor says, now I must go downstairs and see Vermin. He is also suffering from pneumonia, but I am afraid there is no hope for him. So see now what happened. Vermin, who had come to visit Johnsy the previous day, the doctor says that he is suffering from pneumonia now, and I am afraid there is no hope for him. So what has happened to him, we will come to know now. The next morning, Sue came and sat on Johnsy's bed. Taking Johnsy's hand in hers, she said, I have something to tell you. Mr. Vermin died of pneumonia this morning. He was ill for only 2 days. The first day the janitor found him on his bed. His clothes and shoes were wet and he was shivering. He had been out in that stormy night. So she comes with the sad news that Vermin died of pneumonia that morning. And the janitor had found him. Janitor is the caretaker of the building. So he had found him on his bed and his clothes and shoes were wet, which showed that he had been out in that stormy night. Then they found a ladder and a lantern still lighted lying near his bed. There were also some brushes and green and yellow paints on the floor near the ladder. Johnsy dear, said Sue, look out of the window. Look at that ivy leaf. Haven't you wondered why it doesn't flutter when the wind blows? That is Vermin's masterpiece. He painted it the night the last leaf fell. So now we understand how Vermin got pneumonia, right? In that stormy night, he had gone out and he had painted the leaf. Why? To save John C's life. So that was the reason why the last leaf didn't fall, right? The real leaf had actually fallen. But what John C saw through the window was the leaf drawn by or painted by Vermin. And Vermin had done it in that stormy night, which affected his health adversely, leading to his death. So, that look at the line, that is Vermin's masterpiece. We can interpret it in two ways. In two ways, it is his masterpiece. One is, it was the painting that he had done was so realistic that even John C. didn't realize that it was an artificial leaf. She thought that it was a real leaf, right? So in that way also it was a masterpiece, an artwork of extraordinary skill. If you look at it in another way, that he did it, or he, through his painting, he saved someone else's life. He brought someone back to life. In that way also, it is his masterpiece. It is a rare piece of art, right? That through his work, through that work, he could save somebody's life. It was not just a painting to decorate the wall of a room, right? So in that way also, it is a masterpiece. So towards the end, we feel very sad for Vermin, right? Even though he didn't utter a word when he came to see John C. What he did to save the girl's life, he sacrificed his own life to save another person's life through his work. That's all what he could do, right? So that is a story. Hope you